Hey kids, hey, wait a minute. When you gonna make a proper documentary using personally shot footage and interviews from local business owners? Yeah, well, time constraints and budget, you know how it goes. That's such a cop out. What are you just gonna draw stick figures now? Oh, I see. Carry on. Today, we're going to be looking at a few of the foods banned by the US federal government and some of the crazy lengths people have gone to in order to circumvent that ban. Now, we're going to need someone to represent the federal government in a way that no one calls me a shill for either side. Somebody universally hated. Nope. Close. Needs to be someone who really deserves to have a shot taken at them. Perfect. First, we have the Jamon Iberico, or the Iberian ham. This cured meat is the Spanish answer to prosciutto and is regarded as one of the highest quality cured meats in the world. Given its quality status, it should come as no surprise that it was banned in the US up until 2005. The ban stemmed from fear of swine fever due to outbreak in Spain, and the USDA guidelines being extremely strict compared to other nations. The ban has since been lifted, but you may notice the Iberian ham you can buy in stores today doesn't seem all too special. That's because the Spanish have figured out the classic time-honored tradition of selling cheap versions of their domestic products to Americans at extremely high profit margins. See, Iberian ham has a grading system, with Black Label being the cream of the crop due to the diet of the pig and the breed, a product which is regarded as one of the most expensive cured meats in the world at over $100 a pound. So the odds the Iberian ham you picked up from Stop and Shop for a charcuterie board night with the girls is probably nowhere near the good stuff. Next, we have me butchering a French pronunciation of Epocé de Bourgogne, the king of stinky cheeses. In fact, the stench is so potent that French law has officially banned it from the Parisian public transport system. It's a legal offense to carry it on your person. It's not illegal in the US for its smell, however, though one can imagine how police brutality and stinky cheeses might mix. It's described as having an aroma of, quote, like your 15-year-old son's socks after a baseball game, but in a nice way. Which I don't know how you articulate that in a palatable way, but... Good evening. Welcome to the Bocuse restaurant. Our special tonight is cheese that smells like a 15-year-old boy's gym socks, that is served with a 2019 Axe body spray, and topped with a mango jewel pod. What the hell is wrong with you? Seriously, it sounds like something off To Catch a Predator, not a fancy French menu. Anyway, it's not the stench that got this cheese banned, but the fact that it's unpasteurized. Now, to most of the US, this may seem weird, as 30 of the 50 states allow for raw milk to be sold for human consumption, but it's still illegal in the eyes of the federal government. This has led to the unfortunate circumstance where the only way to obtain the real Epocé cheese is to time temperature reviews an already stinky cheese as you smuggle it through customs, completely foiling the reason behind the ban, as shipping it normally would ensure its safety. Gee, thanks a lot, Dick. Name a more iconic duo than Italians and cured meats, and don't say that one we're all thinking of. Italian Americans brought over their strong heritage of cured meats only to have the doors shut on them by the federal government once again. In the late 1970s, an outbreak of swine vascular disease wreaked havoc on Parma and the surrounding northern regions of Italy. As a result, the USDA banned the importation of all Italian cured meats such as salami, copra, sopressata, prosciutto, culatello. They all became contraband overnight. Fortunately, a few devious cheesemongers had a plan to smuggle in the meat in order to meet skyrocketing demand. Do you see what I did there? This result was the Caciocavallo dell'Immigrante, or the Caciocavallo of the Immigrant. It was a cheese featuring a spicy pork sopressata smuggled in the middle. Now, just think, there is a non-zero amount of people who have been apprehended by federal authorities for smuggling in a reverse hot pocket to the US. Fortunately, the ban on prosciutto would be lifted in 1980, and the ban on Italian meats would become completely lifted by 2013. But the Caciocavallo dell'Immigrante serves as a reminder of the lengths people will go to get their proper cured meats. Lastly, we have how De Bruno Brothers managed to navigate the waters of federal regulations. Now, De Bruno Brothers is an institution in South Philly, and a cornerstone of the Philadelphia Italian market. It's a shop I've frequented often, and I've made some friends at. Their response to the Italian meat ban? Maybe it wasn't that good to begin with. Yes, just as how some French people may try to argue that cheese can only be made in a small village of 200 people, using melted down ladles and muskets from the War of the First Coalition. Maybe these delicacies aren't that hard to replicate, and if anyone was going to do it, it certainly would be the melting pot of the world. And that's exactly what they did. Italian Americans born and raised in the process of curing meats began replicating contraband domestically with great results. So much so that when De Bruno Brothers finally got their hands on their shipment of culatello in 2018, they described it as, quote, imagine if growing up you'd only ever heard of a burger. The people who described it to you reference free-range Angus beef patties cooked to medium rare, topped with caramelized onions, ripe tomatoes, and a nice melty cheese, served between a toasted brioche bun. You salivated over the idea of a burger through your college years and early adulthood. Imagine sucking your fingertips clean of the juices oozing from the perfectly cooked patty. And then your first experience of a burger came from a Roy Rogers truck stop. That's how we felt tasting our first Italian culatello. At the end of the day, we've learned many things. Firstly, that Europeans are absolute mad lads when it comes to preparing meat and cheese. Listeria outbreaks, cheese so stinky it's illegal in public, no problem. I didn't even mention the Sardinian maggot cheese, which is just on another level of bonkers. Now, what we learned is despite the continued efforts of protectionist policies from the US federal government, people always find a way to get their hands on prized possessions. Much like how prohibition laid the foundation for organized crime and moonshining, so too have these policies led to a number of shenanigans undertaken to circumvent the law. Anyway, that's all for today. I'm Jesse Osborne, and I have a lot of stinky cheese to eat.